Good morning. I would like to tell you my story, a story of how I learned to become an education minister. I moved out of my comfort zone, economy and finance. 5 years ago, the Prime Minister asked me, go to education. I asked him, are you sure? Because I worked for many years in public policies. Now I have to work with young people. And as you know, since 2011, the young people are not very happy. In all over the country, we have experienced skill mismatch. So, in the age of digital revolution, IR4, disruptive technologies move very fast. But our classroom, our school, our curriculum remain almost the same. On the demand side, the labor market asks not just knowledge, but also skills, commitment, grits. So I asked myself, what should I do? Number one question is that how to help our young people learn. So instead of focusing on young people, on youth, I focus on education because I believe that education is the future of our young people. Therefore, how to help them learn in the new digital age? Number two question is what should we innovate in learning? How can we make learning a joyful moment? And number three, what is the implication of the teachers? These are the questions that I ask myself. So I decided with my colleague to do an experiment to create what we call a school of the future or new generation school. A school for the 21st century with the 21st century library. So we start with one school to pilot, and also with a smarter classroom in which each subject is taught in one classroom. We train the teacher better to integrate ICT into teaching and learning. And also we recognize that there is a multiple pathway to brain and to learning. Different child learn differently. Therefore, we encourage the teacher to use video, use image, and also maybe YouTube and different material in order to encourage to make learning a joyful moment. And we have to review the curriculum, moving from a remote learning to what we call concept-based learning. The young people are asked not to memorize, but to understand the concept, to reflect, and to create value and attitudes. We encourage to integrate STEM education, also in order to address the skill mismatch that we have experienced in our country. We change the teaching method. The teaching method should allow the student to work in teams in the classroom in order to promote teamwork, to do their own research in order to learn how to learn, to present the finding to the classroom in order to promote critical thinking skill and improve their presentation skill. And also to make inquiry so that they should ask more questions. And when they learn something, whether it's social science or science, they should know how to ask questions and how to apply it into the daily life. We encourage them to create study clubs so that they can help their peer and also to develop their own talents. We can have writing club, astronomy club, mathematics club, etc. so that they can have their own passion. To create student council to promote leadership skill, to integrate entrepreneurship so that they can learn how to create jobs, and especially to work on solve the problem that they are facing daily, in order to promote problem-solving skill. We have extra curriculum on computer coding, on the computer programming, to address the problem of technology, so that they can get prepared for the digital revolution. Especially some of the club, if we have the mentors coming from university to help them to do the robotic, even like self-driving car. So robotic, so they are asked to create cars, so they understand what self-driving car should have, sensor, etc. So we apply it in the small scale so that they can understand the big concept. And these are and we change the way we understand knowledge. Knowledge is no longer facts, and the teacher should not try to teach facts which a student can find for themselves through Google. So the knowledge is the construction of all the inputs from the student and also the guidance from the teacher. So it means that we have to move from 2D curriculum to 3D curriculum, or even 4D curriculum. And the use of different types of medium for learning, video, textbook, and different material are encouraged. After 1 year, we organize parent show, and then we ask the parent. What they tell us is that they have seen the change in the attitude of the student. They are more enthusiastic in learning, they are more active, and they are happy to come to school because the school provides very good environment for learning. So we create the school boards so that the school take accountability for what they teach to the student. We give the school director and also the committee the autonomy of how they can teach, maybe a little bit different than the official curriculum, to have a flexible curriculum. And also they can recruit the teacher, they can retrain the teacher, and also they can provide incentive so that the teacher are interested in learning, and the teacher learn along the way, like the student. So we ask the teacher, are you happy? They told me that they have to work harder, but they're happy because they can learn also from the classroom, not just a student that learn. Because the classroom should not stick to the textbook, but the student can do research and bring that into the classroom, have discussion, exchange of view, and then whether it's, and we did not try to ask the student whether they provide right or wrong answer, but they should understand why these questions or the answers are right and why they are wrong. But sometimes it means that we reintegrate Socratic approach to learning, ask questions and try to understand. So we have seen the change that the student get not just knowledge, but also some skill, especially soft skill. And as you know, it's not easy to train soft skill. It's not very obvious. And what employer needs for the future, because skill emerge and disappear very fast in the future. New skill come, especially digital skills. Then what we need is the commitment of the young people to learn how to learn, to relearn, and also to have a critical approach to learning. After 3 years, we create 10 more schools. And now I try to ask the question, what should we do with what we know? We decided to create another tier of school. We selected 150 schools in all over the countries, in all the provinces, and focus on school governance to ensure that the teacher teach and the student learn. And we create what we call the school management committee, in which the teacher, the school principal, the parents, the community, the local authority participate in school management. They should analyze what are the issues facing the school, what they want to do with their school, what they want to do with their children. And the student also create student council, try to make the voice heard, what they want to study. By improving accountability and also by engaging the community, one of the session here also focus on everyone should be engaged in school management. And we have one room for the representative of the parent to be there to ensure this is a shorter route to accountability so that there is teaching and learning. And we have seen the improvement in learning outcome without adding a single penny to the school budget. So that's why we also focusing on whether the student learn at school. To have some kind of assessment, but assessment should guide the learning and should not be the end. To help the student to learn, to help the teacher to teach. And we have seen a better result. Now we are focusing on building the system, teacher training. We have identified, so we go around to see all the schools inside the country that teach IB program, different curriculum, and also our NGS school, and we decide together with all my colleagues, this is what we want, and this can be done in terms of integrating the best practices, the new teaching method into the teacher training curriculum, so that now we focus on the whole country, on the teacher, training the new generation of teacher in teaching method, so that they can be responsive to the digital tools of tomorrow, integrating computer coding program for the future into the school curriculum, but also to look at different interests, not just technology. We focus also on how we teach social science by have concept-based curriculum, by linking the past to the present and to the future. Also by asking the student to reflect, to think. Number 4, we look at what we should do in terms of reform priority, because we cannot do everything at once. For preschool, we look at how to focus on early moment, to focus on not just on cognitive, early age, we focus on non-cognitive skills, on nutrition, training the parent how to raise their children, to create the habits of reading and learning from early on. For primary school, we focus on early grade reading and early grade mathematics, on foreign language, English, and also French, but more important, lingua franca, so that later on the student can tap into the world of knowledge. Also, we focus on science, how to teach better science. For secondary school, we focus on inquiry-based learning and on school-based management. For higher education, again, we focus on problem-based learning, project-based learning, and inquiry-based learning. In conclusion, you can see that these are the response that we created to the new industrial revolution, to the job market, to train not just hard skill but soft skill, but also to have the young people committed to what they should do. Parents and students should get involved in the management of the school. The school should be the business of everyone, not just the business of the teacher or the school principal. Because these children spend only 5-6 hours at school. The remaining, they stay at home or somewhere else. So while at school, the student should learn how to learn, including the digital tool. And parent, local authority, the community should help the teacher to give them moral support, to give them also all kinds of support they need. And also at home, the parents should monitor to ensure that the student continue to learn so that they don't spend a lot of time on social media. I think these are the story that I would like to tell you of how I learned to become education minister. Instead of focusing on just young people on sport, but on how we teach them differently, on how we create a platform of learning so that they can use different medium of learning according to their own aptitudes, because we recognize that there is a multiple pathway to brain and to learning, and it's our role of the adult, of the parents, to give them the not just the hope, but how they can build their own capacity to learn. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much indeed. Jay, if you'd like to take the